eyes are red. Oh. Hey, everybody. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Tammy. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. We are back.
I know. Yay. I'm
Miss
so
you
glad to
guys.
see you back. And I'm so excited to hear about how everything went with the shearing of the sheep and
It,
how all that was for you. What an exciting opportunity.
it really is. It really is. Hey, Tina, Life in the Piedmont.
Hi, Tina.
Uh,
Thank you so much for being here.
yeah, it was really great. Ryan came with me and I think they did about 48.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the rest of the herd that needed to be sheared.
Holy cat, wait a minute. I'm all 48. So how many minutes did it take for them to shear one sheep? That's a lot of sheep. Like,
It,
did they have it down to a science where they're like and just
yeah, totally did. Hey, Gwen, broke cowgirl.
hi Gwen?
Um, I don't know. I wasn't tracking that, but I can tell you that there were 2 shearers and they moved very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
They also have to be very careful when they're in sensitive areas,
Mm-hmm.
like on the rams,
Mm-hmm. Oh
because
yeah, yeah. Sensitive areas.
even those areas get wool,
Huh?
and it
Huh.
can be dangerous. But they moved very quickly. They really are professionals knowing it's an art. It really is an art.
Yeah.
And there was so what there is there were 2 people, um 2 people running, letting them in and out,
Mm-hmm.
letting them out to the shearer, and then there was somebody letting them out when they were done,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a younger girl, like a kid. That's how
Uh-huh.
amazing.
Oh wow.
Then there was somebody picking up all the wool, like the leg, the belly, the head wool, because you don't want that.
Yeah.
And trashing that and sweeping that area in between. And
Mm-hmm.
then there was, hey, Troy Sutton.
Hey Troy Sutton.
And then there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us skirting. So what that means is once the fleece is sheared, it gets picked up in a clump, put on a table, one table.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 2 tables,
Mm-hmm.
but one fleece per table. Hey, Uncle Al. Hey, Heaven's Fire 18.
Hey, Heaven's Fire 18. Thanks for coming in, guys.
And then when they're on the table, it's very important to keep it all separate. And so we're skirting, picking out pine cones, debris, any large debris and stuff like that. They were in really great shape, so it was nice. Not tons of hay, which is just luck because they're animals.
Yeah.
And then they get bagged and tagged with what
Mm-hmm.
animal it came from, who it belonged to, and all that. And then that's
Ooh,
all we did that
so,
day.
so the 48 sheep, they were like combining efforts and doing like neighbors helping each other out or something like that.
Exactly, neighbors and friends.
Yeah.
Hey, Uncle Al. And
Thank you so
then
much for that, Uncle Al.
and then that's it for the day. I think we got it done in 2 hours or so,
Mm-hmm.
which was actually really fast because we had a lot of help. The last time I did one with her, it
Mm-hmm.
was a lot longer with less sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then what I've been doing is me, another girl, and then the owner of the herd. We've spent like 4 or 5 days doing fleeces where we skirt them,
Mm-hmm.
we separate locks into fleece
Mm-hmm.
and all that kind of stuff. And it's just been really a fascinating learning process because the mill has minimum requirements.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're a small herd, you have a small flock, you have
Mm-hmm.
to develop a lot of wool
Yeah.
weight to hit the requirements. So we're doing fleeces from a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I thought that they had to shear the sheep once a year. Not the case.
It depends on how they're growing, and worrying about them with the heat.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know a lot about that, but
Yeah.
basically she made the decision to shear everyone
Uh-huh.
to see how long they could go this time.
Hey, Bear Truth. Good to see you. What's he saying? Oh, he's got a wire skirt for a hand painted pine cone. That's
Hey, Bear Truth.
I don't know if
Um,
he's joking or if he's real. I'm like conceptualizing this hand painted pine cone
I
with
think
a
he's
skirt.
joking because he walked in
Mrs.
while I was
Santa
talking about
Claus,
skirting.
maybe? I'm thinking Mrs. Santa Claus for the Christmas tree. That'd be a cute ornament.
Yeah.
You
No,
said,
it didn't look like that. They're low lanolin. So your hands are not greasy. It soaks in.
mm-hmm,
But you do get like dirt on your hands, but it's amazing. It rinses off with water.
mm-hmm.
And then when you wash your hand, I mean, it's easy to wash your hands. It's not like you're working with grease. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I actually have a jar of lanolin and I use it when I'm making like lotions for really dry skin. You can
Yep.
put a little bit of that in there, but it does have a scent to it. Hey, Living Large with El Crew.
Hey there.
Thank you for coming in. She's got a fun channel. So does Heaven's Fire 18. Those are two new channels I just came across this last week. Thank y'all for
Cool.
joining us. Yeah. That is so
Um,
awesome, Lisa. Does it make you want to get sheep? Hi, Ann Philbeck.
it does. It
Does
does.
so
It
tell me,
does, but it's not happening.
okay, so question. So the people that raise sheep, um, can you share with us like what other than the fact that they're so cute when they're lambs? Oh my goodness, a baby lamb is like the
Oh,
cute. They're right there with baby goats, you know?
yep.
So why do they what is the homestead? Our animals serve a purpose, right? Like that's the goal is they all serve a purpose. Can and we're talking about one like harvesting the wool. Can you share like for the people that that raise the sheep, what are the other purposes that they're looking for? Are they meat animals also?
Yeah, there is a meat flock and there is a fiber flock.
Hey, P&Js. Oh, there is. So there's a
Yep.
difference between the meat flock and the
Yep.
fiber.
And they are bred
Mhm.
and treated, from what I gather, they are bred and treated, how do I say it? With the important decisions that have to be made.
Mhm. Hey,
So
Art
for
Feldman.
so for example,
Mhm.
if an ewe does not has problems delivering, she may then move on.
Mhm. He
And
said
all that kind of thing.
milk, meat, and oh, so they milk sheep?
They do.
Oh,
Yep,
I
they
didn't know
do.
that. I've never had sheep's
Yep.
milk.
She has done that before, and fed it to lambs.
Huh.
But
Interesting.
yeah, there is, people do drink it though.
Mhm.
But, basically it's been, she'll also do, what do you call it? You gotta make decisions, if
Yeah.
people have trouble
Yeah.
or they're not a good mama, it's
Mhm.
time for them to move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, did she share like why sheep over like goats or another animal? I mean, I don't know. We all kind of get called to certain animals too, I
She
think.
loves sheep and she's passionate about it.
Yeah.
I know that,
Oh,
so that's
is
all I know.
wool has no value on the wool market? Well, you could have fooled me. If anyone's bought a pair of wool socks lately, my goodness, those things are expensive.
Well, but here's the thing is that you spend a lot of money
Mm.
on the flock, right?
Yeah.
Then you spend a lot of tedious time preparing the wool.
Okay.
The wool mills are far away,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of people drive far to get to them.
Mm-hmm.
She will ship them out, but
Mm-hmm.
when ship them out, again, if you're small,
Mm-hmm.
you tend to have to have all these, weights. You have to meet
Mm-hmm.
requirements of
Yeah.
weights and staples and all that stuff. Staple length.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
So
City
like
Girl Homestead and Prairie Living Twins. Sorry to interrupt you, Lisa.
that's right. I was going to say one of the things that we are doing. So when we're preparing them, one of the things we're doing is obviously always moving
Mhm.
debris.
Yeah.
Some debris can affect the mill.
Uh-huh.
And so we have to be careful of that. You move all the large debris that wasn't removed when skirting.
Do you
And
guys do
then,
this on top of like big tables?
yep,
Okay.
yep, it's like a mesh table. And then
Hmm.
the other thing you're looking at is staple length. How
A
long is
mesh
it?
table. Okay, so that stuff falls through?
Yeah,
Okay, like sand and things, huh?
yeah.
Okay, I
And
gotcha.
so one of the things we're looking for is staple length, So is the staple length.
What's a staple?
So how long is the fiber?
Okay, okay.
Some of them could be like because spinners want certain sizes, so you have to
Hmm.
categorize it.
Hmm.
And so it could be 6 to 7 inches, it could be three to
Hmm.
four inches, it could be 3 inches.
Hmm.
Um, it depending on how the wool grew and stuff on her
Hmm.
sheep because she has a certain kind of sheep. Then she
Okay.
has some crosses in her fiber flock too.
You mean crossbred?
Crossbred.
Okay, okay.
And then we separate
Hey,
between
Susan.
beautiful locks because these tend to be locky wool.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
So we tend to separate locks from frizzy fiber.
Okay.
And then that's all the things that are going into it. So it's pretty cool.
That
Learning a lot
is
of stuff
cool. That is cool. Oh my
because
God.
they'll be used for different purposes.
Yeah. How long do you think it takes to go through that process with like one sheep's wool, like the filtering process?
Um, if it's clean, it's easier.
Hmm.
If it's locks, if it's all locks, if you can look at
Hmm.
it and see that it's all locks, it goes pretty quick because you're just looking for dirt and measuring.
Uh-huh.
If it's locks and fiber, it can take a long time.
Yeah. I would
Like,
imagine it's always locks and fiber.
not
No?
always, not always. Some
Really?
of them have poorly formed locks
Huh. Okay.
and they're not as desirable.
Huh? Huh.
Um, oops, sorry, I don't know why we're having that. Anyway, um, so it depends.
Interesting. Okay.
I went through a whole one that was beautifully locked,
Wow.
clean
Hmm.
in probably about 10-15 minutes.
Wow. Nice. I mean, and they're
Where-
herd animals, so it's like you don't just get one. You got to get like three or four, right?
Yeah, whereas like I went through another one that was a mix and it probably took me and another person over an hour.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it depends.
But not like an all day deal either. So that's kind of nice.
No, we're doing several in a day.
Hmm.
Three
Yeah.
of us, so
Wow. What a great experience. Oh my
yeah, we do
goodness.
it from about 10 to 4.
Hey, do you give those when you own sheep? Do people give them like do they get a bath? That might be like
No.
because we don't bathe our goats.
No, and the reason why you don't is you don't want to mess with the wool because
Hey,
you're going to have
Bob.
to wash it in prep.
Yeah.
And you got to
Okay.
be careful not to felt it.
Yeah. And then they've,
Some of it gets
oh,
felted.
I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Kind of like a wool sweater or, one of those
Yep.
special fabric sweater things.
The cool thing is all the waste,
Mm-hmm.
which is a lot,
Mm-hmm.
gets collected in bags and used for the gardens
Really?
as
Okay. So
mulch.
wait, define clearly waste. What is the waste?
Matted, if it's matted and doesn't pull apart easily,
Okay.
when you're pulling out debris, it could be the stuff attached to the debris
Okay.
because it's really tangled in there, or it could
Mhm.
be um, just basically when you're picking out things, you're picking out head wool that may have made it or belly wool, but yeah, it all goes
That's
in a
cool.
in a trash bag
Mm-hmm.
and gets put aside for mulch in the garden, which holds a lot of moisture in the garden.
Oh, that's awesome. Very cool.
Especially here, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is cool. Does anybody have any questions for Lisa? Like, that's such great information, Lisa. What an awesome experience.
Oh, it's been
I would
amazing.
love to have sheep. I really would. I mean, we've got goats and chickens, but I've been I also want to have pigs, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to have. Might end up with rabbits. Like the smallest and easiest of them all, which somebody shared, I think it was Heather, shared on the last live. Like, I should think about getting Angora wool rabbits because you can harvest the wool from the rabbits and you don't have to process the rabbits to get the wool.
Nope, nope. It's a direct process. I thought about it, but I just don't want rabbits.
So the hogs get a bath. They love the water, huh?
Oh, when it's hot, yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Heaven's Fire 18. So in town, if you're looking for any homesteading animals, you've got quail are good, and of course rabbits. And some people raise meat rabbits, um, which I would love to do. And I would love to raise an Angora wool rabbit too for the to harvest the wool because I
They're
like to
expensive to
harvest.
buy, I've heard.
Mm-hmm. Wow, way too expensive compared to meat chickens. Huh.
I've heard that too.
Good to
For
know,
me,
Gwen.
it's more the winter time. I don't want to deal with frozen bottles and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah. This year we had to invest so much into our garden. And when I say invest, I'm not really talking just money. I'm talking like time, effort, sweat, into
Yeah,
our gardens and that we didn't get any meat animals. We haven't gotten any new animals since we've been here because we're just trying to get settled.
right.
Well, P&J said we'll never have rabbits or chickens. You mean never have rabbits, but chickens for sure? Is that what you
Yeah.
meant? Yeah,
I know
chickens.
I don't usually get a chance to post links, but I wanted to post the two that you mentioned, Living
Yeah,
Large and
the
Heaven's
new
Fire.
channels. Thank you guys so much for coming. I met them over at Tuber Chat. Good old
Awesome.
Tuber Chat. Yeah, great way to make new friends. So I thought we would chat today since we are like, it is fall, y'all. Like we are in fall. I'm feeling it. I've been wearing flannel shirts this week. Yay! Coming from the high country like you, Lisa, I loved wearing flannel shirts over the top of I love the jeans and boots and, t-shirt and flannel shirt. I just love that. That's my good cozy wear. Um,
Yep.
we're not completely there, but it's definitely started. So it's kind of an on and off thing. Gwen said, no, still hot in Texas.
It is crazy. We had our first frost Saturday night, and
Mhm. Oh, wow. It's
we're
here.
gonna be like 87 Thursday.
Mhm. Oh my goodness, that is crazy. Yep, P&J said they broke out the flannel last week. That's awesome. So now
Yep.
I feel like, with this whole live, what we do is like, try to focus on goals and goal setting and what's everybody getting accomplished and stuff. I just would love to hear, hey, living my best life at 60. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm just curious what everyone's goals are and for the fall, right? Because we kind of break it apart. Like you got these things you want to do, and we are winding down, those of us that have a garden, and there's probably still processing to do, preserving food. I still have more preserving food to do, Lisa.
Yay!
I do.
I do too.
And there's stuff I need to forage. So I am going to be processing acorns this year. That is on my to do list.
Nice. What are you gonna do with them?
I want to, well, first off, you got to make them edible. So there's like this whole process of making them edible. Kind of like I never did a video when I was in Arizona of us processing pine nuts, but it's those are easy. You throw them in a bucket. The ones that float are no good. And then you can like roast them if you want to, but you don't even have to roast pine nuts, right? Well, with the acorn, they have tannins in them that make them very bitter. So what you have to do is you've got to collect them. You want to kind of set them out to dry, and then you put them in a bucket. The floaters are no good. The ones that sink are the ones you keep. You set them out to dry, and then you have to crack them open. You have to take the meat out of the nut, and you put it in a pot of water and you boil it, and then you pour off the dark water, you put more water in, and you keep doing this
I've heard
until
that.
until the water runs clear. Then you have all the tannins out, And then you can like season them like you would, in the oven if you want honey roasted. You can also make a flour to you make a flour from them. Oh, and look, Ark, of course he knows. He's the foraging king. Cutting up for cashews for pies, I think he said. You can,
Gotcha.
but you can basically use them in any baked thing, just eat, and I want to do it. That's like a great a great preparedness food, like
Yeah.
survival food. And I don't know, I feel like it might be something that I don't do every year, but I've wanted to do it the last two falls here, and I'm doing it this year.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice.
Oh, see, he's saying acorn porridge is good. Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some stuff going in the garden still. We've got some cabbage, some Brussels sprouts, some,
Mhm.
believe it or not, the zucchini and yellow squash did not get hit very hard because it was by the side of the
Mhm.
house.
Awesome.
Um,
Wait,
so
did not get, you mean didn't get damaged?
some of it, we got some frostbitten leaves, but not too
Mhm.
bad
Awesome.
overall, and that's because of the fact that it's near the house. So,
Yay.
but we'll see how it's going.
Mhm. Yeah. Looks like P&J's falls processing time, hunting. Yep, hunting season's coming up. We got a new tree stand we got to put up. Foraging mushrooms. Oh, that's awesome. Garden is still I've tried to forage mushrooms. I haven't found a darn mushroom. I know they're there and I'm not seeing them. Prairie living twins. We're moving, so I really don't know. I don't know where to start.
Yeah,
Oh gosh, moving.
that's overwhelming.
It is. You note that prairie living twins that I said that I've wanted to harvest acorn the last, two. We've been here 2 years now. So we moved here in fall. What happened then? That was, I mean,
Right.
and then the next last year we didn't do it then either. We're still not. I feel like we're still not over here. We're still got stuff to do.
There's always stuff to do.
There is always stuff to do. Yeah. I was going to make pine cone syrup. Oh, wow. But never seen green pine cones on the trees. Maybe they're going to come late because it's been so warm. You think?
I don't know.
I feel like, come to think of it, I actually think that I would see green pine cones in the spring. Is that when you guys see them in Texas, Gwen? In
I
northern
can't remember
Arizona?
when they come. I know that I've seen a few green ones fall here and there, but
Hmm.
um I know right now the dead pine needles are coming
Hmm.
off like none other.
Hmm.
Like gutters are full and all that.
Yep. April is. Yeah,
We've
that's
emptied the gutters so many times it's not even funny.
rough. Yeah. We got the leaves starting to fall and some are turning red, getting all the pretty fall
Nice.
colors. Yep. Ark said the pine cones early spring for them too. Seeing acorns, hickory nuts, and walnuts. Oh, and I figured out we have a black walnut tree, but I don't really have enough to that I'm finding to process them, and I can't tackle too many projects at one time. That's going to have to be next year
Yeah.
for the black walnuts.
Yeah, Gwen, the rain probably did something to him. That
Mm,
was a lot of rain.
was. Yeah. Well, that's good. Prairie living twins. Moving is hard. We moved.
Oh,
We moved a 3 day drive away. We moved from northern Arizona to Missouri with kids, goats, chickens, and my daughter, who was due to deliver her baby in 3 weeks. It was
yeah.
something. Let me tell you.
And now she's got a new baby.
I actually have a video of that I've never uploaded.
Pretty girl.
Black walnut. Oh my gosh, is she precious?
She's so precious.
Oh,
She looks like your little guy.
little Asher. I
I
know.
know.
Oh my
Little
goodness.
bud.
Oh, you all are in Arizona. We were up in the Williams area. Yeah. Spent most of my life in Arizona. We
Wow.
moved to where the water was. So, yeah, I've still got to go out foraging. The goldenrod. I'm finally seeing it. If I wait too much longer, I'm gonna miss being
Yeah.
able to harvest the goldenrod. So For
Yeah.
harvesting, I like this is what I need, and I don't know what I'm going to get to. Oh, Seligman, you guys aren't far from where we were. That's cool. Um, we I want to harvest goldenrod. I would like to harvest some mullein root to make a tincture from the mullein root, and I want to harvest some dandelion root for coffee, and then the acorns. Those are my top ones that I'm hoping to get.
You have good goals. You know what mine are?
What's yours? Relax
Slow down and do some fiber work.
and be cozy.
Haven't
Fall
had
is
a chance
cozy.
to do any all summer, so
You have been working so hard, and you guys, I am just in awe of how much food you've grown.
I'm
Prairie
wait till you
Living
hear the
Twin.
numbers. You're gonna be blown away. We had a big jump Saturday, and I can't believe how much we've grown.
Are you going to share it on a post or are you going to do a video?
Yeah, I'm waiting until we're done harvesting completely because we
Hmm.
still have Brussels sprouts and cabbage, so it'll be a while.
Uh huh.
But
Awesome.
absolutely.
Okay, everybody, you need to make sure you go follow Yogi Hollow's channel. My new friends here.
Yeah, we grew one about 120 pounds last year, and then we doubled the gardens, and our goal was 240. And
Mhm.
holy cow,
That's
that's
awesome.
all I'm
So
gonna say.
Seligman, I don't know how high you guys are up in Williams. We were at 7,000 feet, and I'm mentioning this because Lisa is over 5,000 feet. So she's also like, we were considered like high desert, kind of. We had the pine tree ponderosas and the
Mhm.
western pines and the pinyon pines that you get your pinyon nuts from. 5,300 feet. Okay, if you want to see how to grow at those high elevations with similar, what do you call it? Environment, the dry, the cold that you get when you're up north, you need to watch Yogi Hollow Farms channel because you're going to be amazed. She will be sharing what you can do.
We had a late frost on like June 19th,
Mm-hmm.
hailstorms,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Yeah. Bone set tincture. Awesome, Ark. I love bone set. That's one of my favorite tinctures for if I get sick. Allergic to goldenrod. Huh. I've heard that some people think that they're allergic to goldenrod, but they're not. That there's actually ragweed growing alongside of it that comes out at the same time, and that's what they're allergic to, not the goldenrod. I don't know if you.
Right.
Susan's pretty good about her herbs, so she might already know this, and that might not be the case, but thought I'd mention it.
Right, but I have heard that too.
Mm-hmm.
Broke cowgirl watching Little Mountain
Thank
Ranch.
you, Ark Wildman. Oh, yeah, I haven't heard of them. I'll have to go check them out.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And I still have, so I gathered my tomatoes and I made some salsa to put in the freezer because you're supposed to be able to freeze salsa. One of my goals this year was to make lots and lots of salsa. That might seem like a silly goal to most, but if you're used to Southwestern food, you
Oh, yeah.
you understand.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I have some canned, but hey Jan, thanks for
Hey,
commenting.
Jan.
Thank you, Heavens Fire 18. Appreciate you all. But so I have some canned, but I really love a fresh salsa and I like the way that I just make it when I make by taste. You know what I mean? Where I'm
Right, right,
necessarily following a recipe because I got to make sure it cans well kind of thing.
right.
So, I thought, well, I'm going to try freezing some of this
I
because
agree.
I want to see how it turns out. So I'm going to do that and test the texture. And I'm going to do a video to kind of show frozen salsa and do a little taste test with it.
Yeah, we did frozen salsa last year. It came out great.
Awesome. Make salsa 1 quart at a time when we need it. That's a good idea. Oh, Prairie Living Twin subscribed to you last week, she said, Lisa.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jan. So what's everybody else working on? Are you all still preserving anything?
We have all of our homegrown tomatoes in the freezer because I am waiting to be able to can those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time right now.
Mm,
Plus, I want to do different things with them because we have an abundance. So I want to do tomato soup. I want to do all sorts of things.
mm-hmm.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah. And I heard I was watching your live from Friday and you were saying you're looking for a tomato soup that tastes like Campbell's tomato soup and not
Yeah.
something else.
Well, and I found it, but the problem is one has flour in it, which you're not supposed to can. Another one has milk in it,
Hey, Don.
um,
Mm,
and you're not supposed to can. So I'm trying, I'm trying not to go fully rogue, but I also am trying to find something that I like because I do not like soup that tastes like thin down sauce.
yeah.
I like
Inquiring minds want to know, Lisa.
no,
Oh, you're kidding me.
no, I don't even want to go there.
Okay.
Um, one of the one of the things somebody sent me was a Panera copycat style soup, and
Uh-huh.
I've never had their tomato soup. What I
Mm-hmm.
may do is make it and freeze it because it's easy enough to heat up
Mm-hmm.
quickly. I may not can it, but I may also try to make. We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I can't wait.
But
And
that's
you're,
why I have all the tomatoes in the freezer because it requires a lot of water,
mm-hmm.
and when I'm canning, I try to make sure everything is sterile.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it with the bushel that we had, but it took a lot out of us and it took longer.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I'm trying to
Delicious.
wait just to make it a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I saw the pictures that you shared on your community page. That's amazing.
yeah, they turned out great.
Mhm.
They turned out
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, to give you an idea, we harvested 32 pounds of green tomatoes before the frost Saturday,
Holy
just
cow.
Saturday.
Oh my
And then
good.
then we chopped everything down in the greenhouses. I'll be doing a video. I'm hoping tonight or tomorrow to get it filmed and then get it up because I have to show the winner of the Vajiga bed. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
but yeah, just some
The
different things
lucky
going on.
winner.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see what Gwen said. I'm
yeah.
sure I'm sure she wants to.
Oh, trust me.
Can take his head.
Trust me.
Dang it, Lisa.
We're in our 8th week. I've about had enough.
I'll bet you have. You're an overcomer. You're a superstar. What a
Well,
learning
you don't have a
experience.
choice
You
because I'll call another one and they'll be another 8 months out. You know what I mean?
mhm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Darn it.
But we're making it work.
Mm-hmm. You are. A lot of lessons learned here.
No kidding.
You know what I mean? Like you've
No
learned how to
kidding.
do it. Like that part, if any if anything in a grid down or anything like that where people lose water and you're gonna be, all right, well, you know what we gotta do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Stitching it up.
Mm-hmm. Relish being canned. That's awesome. I did get some relish can this year. Those are my big canning things is syrup. I'm hearing myself. Do you hear an echo?
No, but I heard mine earlier.
Okay. Syrup, relish, and salsa. Those are my and I think did I can jam? Strawberry jam, maybe? I feel like I might have some of that. That or I canned it a while ago and still. Those are my big accomplishments with canning. I'm not a huge canner, to be fair. I've definitely canned more this year than I have before, but maybe next year or this winter I'll work on that a little more.
We did we did
Hey, stitching it up. Good to see you.
we did jam, strawberry jam, we did relish, we did hamburger slices, we did mock apple pie filling, which was zucchini,
Mhm.
mock pineapple, which was zucchini.
Oh, that is awesome.
Um,
But you didn't video it, did you?
no.
Oh, I would love to see that. I know there's videos out there, but I would
I
have liked.
don't want a video without water.
Oh, I
I don't feel
gotcha.
it's right.
Yeah.
Um, and so but I have all the tomatoes to can. We blanched and froze a lot,
Hi,
um,
Janice.
which worked out great this year because blanching and freezing was so much easier to do with all the
Hmm.
issues.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. We did some other stuff. I'm getting ready to freeze dry some raw eggs.
Mhm.
Thankfully, I had yesterday when I went to work on the fleeces.
Mhm.
I said, "Can I please bring my freeze dryer trays and my silicone mats so I could give them a good wash
Uh-huh.
because I didn't feel comfortable using
Yeah.
them."
Uh-huh.
But one of the things that I've been doing is putting, like, if I do herbs, I put parchment paper so
Sure.
it's fine.
Yeah.
But with the eggs, you have to put them right on the tray.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I didn't feel
Mhm.
comfortable putting raw eggs on a tray that I didn't feel was
Oh
clean enough.
gosh.
So
Yeah.
she put them in
Mhm.
the dishwasher, we got them all clean. So I'm going to start that tonight because I had to pull my basil too.
Mhm.
I've got basil, calendula, marigolds that need to be freeze dried. I've got eggs
Mhm.
that need to be freeze dried.
Awesome.
So I'm going to do the eggs first, and then
Uh-huh.
I'm going to switch to the herbs
Yeah.
after I wash the trays and put parchment paper.
Mhm. I love that you can freeze dry eggs because I put some in the dehydrator and I've dehydrated eggs,
Yeah.
but they're kind of greasy. Do you know what I mean?
No.
When you do the dehydrate, have you dehydrated them before? So when you do the dehydrator, they feel kind of greasy. And
Hmm.
I did it straight on the, like you on the silicone tray. I mean, I could have maybe if I put parchment paper down, it would help to absorb some of that. But
Mhm.
I don't know, it makes me nervous. You know what I mean?
Totally get it. Totally get
Mhm.
it.
Yep,
Yeah,
stitching
I'm
it
gonna freeze dry them because when you freeze dry them and then you go to use them, you use like a
up.
tablespoon and a tablespoon of water.
Mhm.
But as long as you cook them to 180 degrees,
Mhm.
you're killing the bacteria. So I wanted to do some raw. So what I've done is I've
Yeah.
kept all
I've
the
only done
dirty,
raw.
huh?
I've only done raw. Like
Yeah, I've done
dehydrated.
cooked, I've done scrambled and raw, but I want to do
Huh.
raw so we have on hand
Uh-huh.
when they stop laying this year.
Mhm. That's cool. Stitching it up's working on gardening skills, and that is awesome. There's a lot you can
Thanks,
do in the
Greta.
fall.
Greta says, I've heard a ball tomato soup is great. Can't think of the name. Fresh harvest vine ripe. I will check that out because I want to say that there was a tomato soup.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here too. Go
That's
ahead.
right. A tomato soup in the ball book. The ones that I've looked at looked a little too basil-y for me. But then was it the one that Leanne made, the Mennonite farmhouse? Did it have fennel or clove in it? And I was like, two things
Mm.
I really don't want a lot of.
Mhm.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Greta. Thank you.
Mhm. Hey, Ginger. Yeah, that is cool to know. And very cool on the ram hunt. I hope you end up with some deer in the freezer. I don't know if it's a lottery where you guys are, but if it is, I hope you get drawn.
Oh,
And
we didn't get
stitching up,
anything.
stocking up and trying to learn more garden skills. There are so many things to do in the fall with your garden. Like I still need to get my garlic in the ground that I was gifted by Simply Jan Homestead.
Hmm.
And I mean, she sent me big old bag and I got to get them in the garden and I got to get them covered up with mulch. So that's still something that I need to do. And I wanted to say, Lisa, I'm so glad you did this Preserve Fresh challenge because I'm not so when you think you're going to freeze something, you think, cool, I'm going to go stick it up in the freezer. Boom, freeze it. But when you're freezing fresh vegetables, you do need to blanch most of them, and there's different times for some. So what I've done recently is too, I've gotten okra in the freezer.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a bunch of okra in the freezer. I've got green beans in the freezer. Now I've got the salsa in the freezer, which I never thought to freeze before.
Right?
Yeah, like the things that you think you can't freeze that you can freeze, but then you don't realize there's a process for freezing them. And that's what I'm really liking about your collaborations because it's kind of, me, I always work best on deadlines, ultimatums, learning things, like, I don't know, assignments, if you will. Probably because I was in school for most of my life. But, anyways, like, just, I love it and I'm loving it. I'm learning so much. It's really
You know,
awesome.
I learned from Annette at the Cow Emporium, you can take a whole cabbage head, put it in the freezer, wrap it up, put it in the freezer, take it out and defrost it, and you don't need to boil the cabbage to make cabbage rolls.
Mm-hmm.
You just take it apart and peel it.
Really?
So, and I saw it the other day too on a reel on Instagram. So I
Uh-huh.
was really fascinated. So one of my cabbages are definitely going in the freezer whole, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to blanch it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is we've been blanching and freezing because we wanted to eliminate buying frozen vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
So we filled a 7 cubic foot freezer with all vegetables blanched and frozen and vac sealed
Mm-hmm.
from our garden this year.
That is so awesome.
So that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. I like it because the canned veggies, which I often will use, the truth is those canned vegetables have a lot of salt in them,
Yep.
which is not good for a person like me. I'm salt sensitive.
Right.
Salt and caffeine sensitive. Alcohol sensitive to everything.
Thank you, P&Js. Yeah, this was a huge year for us to be able to do that.
Yeah,
Like if you followed us, I mean, it's people who have followed us, it's unbelievable this year
it
compared to other
is.
things.
It's been a work in progress though. You've been getting better and better every year.
Once I froze chopped
Congrats,
onions, didn't
Don.
work too well. Really stitching up. We've had no problem. We freeze chopped onions all the time, and we
Hmm.
also dehydrate, freeze dry.
I think she means froze though, not freeze dried.
Right, I've put them in the freezer
Oh,
too.
you have?
Yeah,
Huh.
I chop them up and dice them and put them in the freezer and vac seal them, and they work fine.
Really?
I've put them in a Ziploc without vac sealing them. They did fine.
Oh, I had put some okra because was it okra? Yeah, I think it was okra in a bag because I was thinking I'm gonna make soup and I'm gonna use these, so I don't need to go through the whole freeze or not freeze, but vacuum sealing them. And I put a date on there so you could see like right now they've only been in there for like 4 weeks, and you could see that freezer bag didn't do good at all. So stitching it up, it kind of makes me wonder if you vac sealed or not. And I think I even did a little video clip, and I haven't got the video up yet. I'm working on it, but showing this is what happens when you use a freezer bag, because you could see all the ice crystals in there and stuff, which compromises the quality of your food.
Yep, I double bag them too, Dawn. I double bag onions and garlic.
So do you, when you say you double bag them, Lisa, do you use a freezer bag and then just put them in another bag? Or
So
do you
usually
use
I
like
vac seal
reseal?
them and then I put them in one Ziploc bag.
Okay.
Um,
Mhm.
and the garlic we vac sealed and put it in a Ziploc bag. But
Okay.
we have also just taken them and put them in a Ziploc bag, squeezed the air out, sealed it, folded the
Mhm.
bag over if it wasn't
Yeah.
full,
Rolled
and
it
then
up.
double bagged it.
I did not do that with mine. Okay. Yeah, because sometimes, you know,
Because they
some,
stink.
mm-hmm.
Everything will stink.
Mm. Good.
Everything will stink.
Yeah. Good to know. Yeah, I didn't think of the double bag either.
Whenever you freeze stuff, you want to make sure that the moisture is off of it. So what some people
Hmm.
do is they flash freeze them.
Hmm.
Onions, I don't bother flash freezing, but I will
Hmm.
say this, when I flash freeze stuff, like say
Hmm.
for zucchini and um
I like to flash freeze just because then they're all separate, not all clumped together.
yeah, I found
Mhm.
with peppers I haven't had a problem.
Oh yeah, peppers. I don't worry about it either. Now that you mention it, because I love to freeze bell peppers
Yeah,
and jalapenos, and I never do anything other than cut them up and put them in the freezer.
that's what I do. And then
Mhm.
one of the things, like, but with the
Really? Huh. Well, I've frozen some. I'll let you know if it tastes like the freezer when we eat them.
one of the things that we did was flash freezing was like the zucchini and the yellow squash, the broccoli, the cauliflower,
Mhm.
and that worked well.
Yeah, definitely nothing worse than a rotten egg popping on you. I'll agree to that. Your whole freezer will smell like onions. If I've never tried to freeze onions, I'm so glad that we're having this
I've
conversation.
always double bagged them because it stinks.
We got 5 more minutes, guys. So if you have any questions, let us know. And Lisa
Oh,
just,
yeah, because we gotta stick to time today because 'cause
yeah,
we're both on a tight schedule.
yeah.
Um, Trying to think what else. So, like, what I did was, like, my onions were not a great harvest this year,
Mhm,
and they were smaller, and they really
mhm,
wouldn't cure well. Not that I ever try to cure them. I always preserve them.
mhm,
But one of the things that I do is, they're pretty pungent when they're small,
mhm.
and so that's why I cut them up.
I actually grew some onions this year, but they were only like this big. they
Mine were
weren't
little too.
they weren't much bigger than when I put them in the ground. And I think of the ones that I planted, and I didn't plant that many, maybe like 9. And of the ones that I planted, only like 3 actually made it out of the garden bed alive. So not a big year for me, but in the past I've tried to grow onions and haven't gotten anything at all. So,
That's progress because last year was my first, successful harvest,
mhm.
and this year it wasn't that great, but I got something, so
Okay, yep, baking soda to the freezer and Prairie Living Princes. Now I know why my freezer stinks. It's the onions. Did you spoon? I don't think so. I've Okay, so this whole spooning the onions thing sounds familiar. I think you did a
yep.
video on this and that's why it sounds familiar, but I don't know what it is, so I'm going to go with nope, don't think I did that, Jan.
Yeah, and like Gwen says, they need a lot of water and they need a lot of fertilizer.
Oh,
I
okay.
gave mine a lot of water this year, and I almost felt like it was too much,
Mhm.
yet it was less than last year.
One thing that we didn't do all year long. Oh, okay. Prayers for you, Ginger,
Yeah, prayers,
um,
Ginger.
and everybody that's in the path of that hurricane. My goodness.
Oh, I haven't watched the news. I need to look.
Um, Lisa, Stitching has a video about 50 useful things for baking soda. Cool. I'm gonna go see that. I love stuff like that. Um, yep, we
Mhm.
do. We have both solar and gas. One thing we didn't do all year long, Lisa, was use any fertilizer. Like the only time I used anything after you shared, we were on a live together and you shared that you had blossom end rot on your tomatoes. We all talked about how it could be because lack of calcium and how you treat them. Well, like that same week, 2 days later, I'm out in my garden and I see blossom end rot on my tomatoes. So I do grind up, save my eggshells and grind those up. I do the same thing with banana peels, but I'll use those at the beginning of the season. Never again. I never do any kind of fertilizing during the season. I never have. But I've also, like, all of my plants are always kind of puny, if you will. And I thought it was the dirt. So I remember I did this whole soil replenishing out there, and that leads me to believe, the hubby and I were talking, I'm like, you know what? We need to learn about like how to feed our soil
Yes.
during the growing season because I don't feed it anything. It gets rainwater, and when it's not raining, it gets well water that is
Yeah.
very high in calcium. And we got 1 minute.
You definitely wanna do that. You want to amend it and stuff because we amended, obviously, it wasn't perfect, but I will say this, the lime and water, sweet barn lime and water did really well for the tomatoes because it ended the blossom
Mhm.
and rot pretty quickly.
Huh. All right, guys, we are at about time. And what seconds are left, it's probably going to take us to close out here. So thank you all so much for coming in and for all of the great discussion in the chat. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up for us. It helps the channel and the live.
And
And
we'll see you next week.
we'll see you next week. You all have a blessed week, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.